little humble brag here. I led the nation in completion percentage.
Sick.
Nice.
What was it?
How far did you throw across the line of scrimmage?
74.8%.
Okay.
I think I averaged like 6 yards a throw.
Wow. What is a normal, what is a good completion rate?
If you're over 70%, that's strong.
No matter the length.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to dial in, get really into the weeds. Yeah.
Give us the Denny Thompson.
You want to be at least like 8 to 10 yards a pop.
Okay.
But that's how the Jags turned it around last year. They started throwing those short passes.
I know you got to.
Thanks for calling me out on that, though.
It's a long handoff.
I thought of that when I was saying
almost
it, and I was like,
texted
it was going to take too long for me to explain myself, so I was like, screw it, I'll just say it.
That's funny, dude.
Welcome back to another episode of Straight Down the Middle-ish. Our special guest today is my cousin, Riley Skinner, ACC's finest, Wake Forest Hall of Famer. Welcome to the pod.
Man, how about that?
Riley Skinner,
Thanks
local legend.
In. Yeah, I was.
Thank you, boys.
Tons of accolades to list.
And now I'll add to the resume.
Yeah,
Straight Down the Middle-ish podcast guest.
That's right.
Episode like
that'll
30.
go on Wikipedia.
Probably won't make the top 10, but we'll slide it in there somewhere.
We were getting caught up before we started recording here, and we were talking a little bit about college football. So locally, Riley hops on the local radio to give his take on the current game of college football, and we wanted to do a little deep dive into what's happening in that world. So talk about Wake Forest and what that school is going through, competing with all the transfer portal, NIL, how the advantages of a small school offer.
Yeah, it's a weird time for Wake specifically, just because the kind of the fabric of that school. But NIL obviously
sucks.
I don't know how you navigate it.
Disrupting the entire college football world, which we all know and love, right? It's becoming a diet NFL. It's what they're trying to eventually create, which I strongly disagree and hate. But it's the reality of it today. And right now, for a school like Wake, for example, right, schools have buckets of money in these collectives where before you thought it was going to be really a marketing deal where certain brands and companies could employ players to advertise for them and then they could pay them a fee and go off. Well, it's progressed into these collectives now really quickly where you've just got globs of donors throw in millions and millions of bucks, and it is just money straight to these players' pockets. And
Wake has to have some money, man. There's some quality alumni out there.
A lot of alumni, but you're running into this problem where you got a facilities arms race, and then you've got a collective arms race, and there's only so much money eventually to go around. And so the big donors that before would put it into $40, $50, $60 million phenomenal facilities, right? Now they've got to decide, all right, am I going to take all my money and put it into the growth of the program from a facility standpoint, or do I have to divide it up and essentially just put it into players' pockets outside of the university? And so that's where Wake had the tough time is because of the sheer size of them. We only got 4,000 students at the school. So you can't ask for $100, couple $100 from a bunch of alumni, and all of a sudden it creates this big pool of money. I mean, you got to go get big chunks of the capital stack.
You needed Cam Young to go to Live. He could have donated a lot more.
Exactly right. We needed him.
Gosh, you got a bunch of alum. Chris Paul, Webb. Come on, guys. Tim Duncan.
It's going to be tough for the small schools, though. I will say, like, the dynamic that may shift back eventually. Probably not, because you're not going to refuse the money. But the good thing about the NFL is you see on Monday night all the players when they start saying where they're from. Tons of them are from small schools. So if some of these guys do transfer to the bigger schools, do they get washed out, or I don't know? Do they not play for? It's going to be
they become independent contractors now, just to be hired mercenary. Like we're talking about Florida State, how many starters were transfers versus Clemson the other day, who had 0 transfers. They've been building their own farm system.
Let's see how that's working.
And, right, but it's gonna catch up. Yeah, I mean, Keelan Coleman, receiver for Florida State, absolute stud. He's gonna be there for 3 months.
You think?
I mean, he's got 1 year. He came in the summer.
Yeah,
he's gonna be there for a season. He's already top receiver in the college football.
He's out of
What's
there.
he going to say
December,
on Monday
he's
Night
on
Football?
and pop into the NFL.
He's like, Keelan Coleman, Michigan State, Florida State for a minute.
For a minute. a cup of coffee.
To me, it's watering down their product big time. I mean, I've lost a ton of interest, and the Gators haven't been that great. But
Great point.
I have lost a ton of interest in college football. It doesn't really do it for me anymore, and the whole thing is gross as well. Like, what are we teaching these poor coaches now? How the hell do you coach, dude? How do you get a guy better? You if you're hard on them, if you're hard on them, now you got to worry about them transferring. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Before, college coaching is brutal in general. Before, it was tough because season's over, you're immediately going on the road to recruit, right? You're going to podunk nowhere, sitting in the living room, trying to tell a 17-year-old how good he is and stroke his ego. Now, on top of that, you're still doing it.
You got to give.
But now you're sitting there going to your current players you have in your program, and you're begging them to stay and figuring out what's their quote, which makes me sick to say, what's their market value in college football? Because I've had plenty of conversations with our administration at Wake about what this looks like, and that's what they call it. It is market value of your position, where you rank in that position, and there's slots of money per your value. And so you're begging these players to stay, and half the time you spend, from what I hear from the Wake coaches, you're spending half your time convincing your current players to stay at the program as you are recruiting new players. It's terrible.
The money should be deferred at a minimum. You can't be just giving these kids this money. At least if it's sitting there and they can't touch it till they finish, maybe they'll be a little more cooperative.
I understand that there are severe instances where guys, bring like a Tebow or a Manziel, where guys bring so much money into the school, and it's like, man, this guy's getting none of this. But but you can't base it off of those guys, dude. Golfers are getting kids like kid golfers are getting money now to go to college. That is a joke.
It's nuts.
They could have done it a better way, where like one person is allowed to receive, because then like the Tebows, they don't get left out. But you shouldn't have.
Yeah, but that gets hairy, because then you create dissension within your team. If some kids are getting it, some kids aren't. And I mean, it's capitalism, right?
Yeah.
The best now
free market capitalism.
It is free market capitalism.
Aaron's favorite vocab word.
I love it.
The best players are getting the most money, and we went through this with our coaches. Like quarterback, left tackle, really good wide receiver. Those are the top 3 market value positions.
That's how the NFL treats it.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the next you go down, you have a shutdown corner, and then you have, I mean, essentially, like the linebackers and the running backs of the world, unfortunately, are the ones.
A charisma guy.
And a right guard.
This guy's got a great personality.
Big heart guy. Yeah, they don't really trade for a lot of value on the open market. But
running backs are getting screwed right now.
But
but
Matt, what you said about where it makes you disinterested is because college basketball has recently gone through this with the one and dones.
Yeah,
you don't get affiliated, or you don't create a fan player relationship from your school, because half the time you don't know after the off season where a quarter of the good players are.
Yeah.
And they're all over the place. So you lose that drawl of what keeps you a fan of your school when you have no player affiliation. And that, I mean, that's another component that just absolutely sucks, in my opinion. That's going to just get worse for the time being until the NCAA or some other third party puts some guardrails around it.
Well, the NCAA is just absolutely
toothless. Don't hold your breath on the NCAA.
That's why I said another third party entity.
Right.
Yeah. But once the ship sails, it's hard to reel it back in. But
it is sad. I mean, college football, we all grew up on it. Pricey, you come in and you've been around it long enough. I felt that coming this way for the last 5 to 10 years. It's people couldn't keep up with the Sabans and the Kirbys,
right?
And to me, I went to Auburn, so my bias is showing there. But hasn't it leveled the playing field for the big boys?
I mean, look at some of the best teams right now. It's a freaking Pac-10.
Yeah, Washington,
Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
Where do all their quarterbacks come from? Oklahoma,
the
Auburn.
portal.
I mean, they're coming from everywhere.
Bo Nix.
Bo Nix.
Pick six, Nick.
Exactly.
But
Bo Nix.
People, I mean,
War Eagle Bo.
A lot of people speak out of both sides of their mouth too, right? Because you get sick of the same brands winning and being there, and you want to see some kind of level playing field. Well, now you got it. Unfortunately, the way you're getting there is squirrely. So if you can figure out a way to regulate it, I don't mind that there's a level playing field within college football, and I hope it gets to that point. But until there's
should you just have to stay
caps
2 years at one program
or something, something like that.
Or have to sit out, or maybe sit out if you're.
Yeah,
Well,
that used to be the
one and
case.
done.
That used
Not
to be the
eligible
case.
for if you transfer, you're not eligible for the Heisman.
Well, because what did
Ooh,
That'd be a
y'all
great
remember
rule.
this?
Nice
What did
penalty.
It's not going to do much, but it would be a great rule.
I mean, think of the NFL draft though, right? Like those, I think Matt Stafford was the last one that got like
big money.
absurd money,
All right.
like $140 million, like 4-year contract. And after that,
Sam Bradford.
was it Sam?
Yeah,
Was he?
he was the last one.
He
Stafford
was.
was out before. He's been in the league for 15 years.
He's been in there a minute.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, after that, they started capping it, right? And to me, that makes it a lot more palatable for guys that haven't proven themselves. But like, I think you can get to some sort of that structure in college football to where everybody knows what to expect, and you don't get a random Oklahoma State donor that can pay Caleb Williams $8 million to come there for
Yeah.
1 year.
Well, the one argument everyone thought A&M when they made this paying players legal was going to have this big rise, and you really haven't seen that yet. I was hearing numbers for their offensive linemen. It was like 500 a guy, 500,000.
What an
a guy.
indictment on Jimbo
I was
Fisher.
just
I
gonna
mean,
say,
right? That's
a-
what I kind of was getting at. Is this an indictment on Jimbo? I mean, you have all the money in the world to go get what you want now.
I think that would be more egg on Jimbo's face than anything else.
Yeah.
Do you think
holy cow.
the NIL helps the school like Notre Dame? I think might benefit from this the most.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time. I'm with you, Matt. Like the
What about-
good
what about
players need to
Harvard?
have some money.
Might say a Harvard or something make it rise here.
Because
They got the donors.
I play with a bunch of players that were really good, really, really good college football players. They were intricate and very impactful in us winning an AC championship, bringing a ton of money to the school.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't get a dime. They didn't have an NFL career, and they're not doing so great after. You know, and like that, those are the instances from like I don't mind players getting some kind of coin
Right.
for what they're putting into that school.
Right.
And so that to me is not. I've gotten over the paying the players. It's just how much, like you said, Pricey, how you pay the players and the players essentially running their own brands bothers me.
Well, I think
Yeah.
college football has been behind the times for a long time. And now we're going through the mess of them trying to catch up to become this NFL light,
Yeah, they've
NFL
gone
diet NFL.
Too hard. Too
Diet
quick.
NFL.
But yeah, it's an interesting time to see how these teams evolve, how Wake Forest evolves. They develop players. They bring
Right.
you in, sit you down. You're not going to play, see the field until you're 20 years old, 21 years old.
Right.
There's such a benefit to that. You get smart guys, you develop them instead of having to switch on the fly and bring this guy in from another school because he was he flashed in the portal.
Yeah. I mean, dude, you're spot on. Like you're bucking the philosophy of so many college coaches.
Well, coaches
They
are
want
going to
their
get
junior
sacked.
and senior year to be that's where they make their money and have a shot to play in the NFL because they've been developing, learning the system, getting acclimated, getting playing time, but not too early. And then that end of sophomore, junior, senior is where you make your money. And unfortunately now, if guys don't have a starting position their freshman year, redshirt freshman year, they out.
Yeah.
They
They're
change programs.
they're looking.
That sucks.
But look, it's going to be the coaching staff too. You let some guy go, you didn't keep him, you didn't retain him. He goes to some other school, and you're going to get fired. So I tried to transfer from Georgia Southern,
Yeah.
and my coach wouldn't let me because a kid on my team had already gone to Auburn. He was from Auburn, so he let him go, and I came in. Even though my coach didn't recruit me, I was there, and he said, and it was I understood it. He said, if I let you go to Auburn, that's 2 kids I've let go. You're obviously a good player. You're going to be good. You guys are going to top 10. We won't. I'll be fired. I can't let you do it. And I was like, you know what? Fair enough. And I just, he's like, maybe change your attitude, Aaron. I was like, oh. I could also do that.
Could have had 2 Auburn
But-
alums right here.
But I think that, but in hindsight, I'm 20 years later, that was fair enough because some of these college coaches now, they're going to lose a player because he wants to redshirt him. Oh, I'll go over here. And then the donors are, the donors have influence, just like the lobbyists in DC. They're going to get the coach fired.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to see that aspect too, not just the players move. The coaches, the donors are going to have a big influence now because they're putting more coin in, and they'll want to say, they have a say on the facility. Of course,
Yeah.
they get
College golf is low-hanging fruit for an NIL. I mean, if you want to go build a program, you can go look at the top 5 rankings and U.S. junior rankings and bring those guys.
It's not really
in.
how you fit in their system. That's just how good are you.
That one
are you
kid,
good? Okay.
That one kid went to UNC, Menenti. I don't know. I don't follow the junior burger golf too much, but he did an extra year because he went to UNC because whatever Cap Tech is like a North Carolina sponsor, so they paid him and he played one extra. They got the COVID year or whatever. There.
Are you more of a fan of college or pro football?
Definitely pro because of my upbringing.
Really?
So with this amateur athletics, this is like not on TV at all. Like, so all Australian cricketers, when they play Pakistan or England, it's huge. They go and then play against each other in their states. No one watches.
Interesting.
So because we're a different demographic, we're less than 10% of population. That our national stuff is all big, but our domestic stuff is not big. But the rugby is.
Riley.
But they're all pros. So amateurs, no, we don't have high-end amateur athletics.
Riley, I got something for you. This morning I was listening to the radio or like the beginning part of your segment, and you were knocking Graham Mertz's yards after catch or the length of his passes.
The length of passes.
Yes, I watched a lot of your football games at Wake Forest.
The year
is that the pot calling the kettle there?
100%.
Okay.
Old dump pass.
For the year 2007. Little humble brag here. I led the nation in completion percentage.
Sick.
Nice.
What was it?
How far did you throw across the line of scrimmage?
74.8%.
Okay.
I think I averaged like 6 yards a throw.
Wow. What is a normal, what is a good completion rate?
If you're over 70%, that's strong.
No matter the length.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to dial in, get really into the weeds. Yeah.
Give us the Denny Thompson.
You want to be at least like 8 to 10 yards a pop.
Okay.
But that's how the Jags turned it around last year. They started throwing those short passes.
I know you got it.
Thanks for calling me out on that, though.
It's a long handoff.
I thought of that when I was saying
almost
it, and I was like,
text
it was going to take too long for me to explain myself, so I was like, screw it, I'll just say it.
That's funny, dude. We were at a Thursday night game one year. You got to remember this. You were playing Florida State, and Scott and I were playing the Tar Heel Tour, and I think I've told this before, but
tell it again.
Power goes out. Remember that? It was like the score. Something went out, and y'all's stadium is so small, and it was so quiet in there, and it was out for about 15 minutes. It's Thursday night ESPN game.
Yeah,
it's the game that night, and we were on the Florida State sidelines. Our tickets were, and we were sitting about 6 rows up from the bench, and they had a kicker. His name was Gary Sismacia. And he had this this pot belly.
Massive
yeah.
beer gut.
And everyone's just kind of hanging around, and Scott out of nowhere goes, "Hey, 16, you hungry boy?" So
I held up a bag of M&Ms and
so good.
rubbing my face.
All his teammates started laughing, dude. It was so funny. You guys won that game.
We did win that game.
Yeah.
I would expect nothing less from Cousin Scott.
Yeah.
Did a nice little subtle jab.
It was so good. I ran into a ton of buddies there that night too. I remember seeing.
Hey,
buddies
I
from
love
Florida
going to
State.
games at Wake.
Before I want to say one last, they'll kind of close the book on this transfer thing. The one thing I was thinking about, I didn't say, they don't mention this. I think like 30, don't quote me on this. I want to say it's like 36% of the players that end up in the transfer portal don't go anywhere.
Really?
And like that to me is crazy.
Yeah, like they're not wanted. We're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like hey, grass is greener. I'm going to put my name in.
What happens then? Can they go back to where they were?
No.
It's not anonymous. I guess you can find it out.
No.
So if you
They just
enter,
float around.
if you enter and you aren't picked up, then you're just shit out of luck.
I mean, what school's going to want you back?
I agree.
No,
It should
once
be that
it's
way.
like declare, like once you declare,
yeah,
you're going, and there's a large percentage of guys that don't end up going anywhere.
Wow.
And like that's scary when you got agents and you got guys kind of poking at you, like, hey, try to go over here. They're in need of a corner or whatever, and you make that move like that.
What was that number
bad.
again?
I want to say it's in the 30%.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's a huge gamble on yourself.
it's a big gamble.
So I'm guessing there's a lot more agents getting employed at the moment.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Matt.
But anyways, we were getting onto a fun subject. I just wanted
Well,
to
yeah,
mention
we were
that.
talking Wake Forest. I was going to use that as a pivot to Arnold Palmer. And, Matt won Arnie's tournament twice. And,
baby.
Twice.
I mean, it went Tiger Woods, Matt Every.
Back
to
back.
That's incredible. Anywho.
Got to find bunker lesson one year on the Tuesday.
I did.
Buy a Panama out of the rocks.
Yeah. I called Pricey. I was like, I need a bunker. What year was that? The first year?
First year, yeah.
Yeah.
What year is that? Like 12,
14
13?
and 15.
14, 15.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just the
Long time ago.
last couple for Arnie before he passed on.
Who's your
but-
favorite Wake golfer that you know?
I mean, it's got to be
Bill?
I was buddies with Bill.
Yeah.
And so
That
that
was my
was
idol.
Yeah. He was my
that
idol,
was
too.
really cool.
Yeah,
Like
he's
we
my
were
idol.
Did he get you into golf? It feels like
I mean,
you didn't play any golf
I didn't-
growing up.
No, I
and-
didn't. I started sophomore year of college because I tore my foot up over the summer playing basketball. Showed up to camp in a boot, and Coach Grove point blank said, "You're not touching the basketball until you get out of here." It's like, all right, well, I can figure out something to do during the summer, and so that's when golf picked up. But when Bill won the FedEx, that was we were fairly close then, and so that kind of charged me up watching that. That kind of got me in. But Arnie, man, I had a really cool Arnie story I'll share. So when I got done playing, it was like 2 years after I got done playing, and we went down to play Bay Hill and Lake Nona with my brothers and my dad. We get done playing Bay Hill.
Was Boyce there?
He was there.
And Boyce.
And I said brother. What did I say? Oh,
Brothers.
I always say
in-laws.
brothers.
Yeah, you
and
got
a
a
couple
lot of
in-laws.
Yeah.
So anyways, we're there, and we get done playing. We're about to go into lunch, and I saw one of the staff members said, "Hey, is Mr. Palmer here?" And they said, I don't know. I think he's on the ground somewhere. That's his office up there. She said, "All right." So I kind of snuck around, walked up the stairs, and there's, his
Office.
front desk. Well, the front desk was like a foyer, and there's an admin lady. I said, "Mr. Palmer in there?" And she said, I don't know. I'm going to have to go check. What's your name? And I said, Riley Skinner, went to Wake Forest. Well, Arnie's office is like right off to the side. His door was open. And all of a sudden I hear from the back, he said, "Riley Skinner, Wake Forest quarterback, you better tell him to come back here." So she looked at
That's
me
so
and
cool.
she was like, "You might want to go ahead and go back." I
That's sick.
freaking went right back in there for 15 minutes, man. It was just me and him in his office.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We got to talk football, life, golf. He asked me about the whole golf round. It was one of the coolest, one of my favorite pictures too. Got a Wake Forest visor. We're sitting there in his office. That was pretty special.
Yeah.
That's a
I bet
legend.
that was
Yeah.
cool. It's probably cool for him too, man, to watch y'all's little run.
Dude, he
You know,
knew.
I
He
bet he
knew
did.
so much. Well, he spoke to us at the Orange Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And then my senior year, he came and spoke to our team before senior night. And before he came in to speak to the team, I got to talk with him out in the tunnel for a little bit, just one-on-one. So I had like 3 really cool run-ins with Arnie. And anyway, that was one of the cooler moments I've ever had with
I
a
bet.
legend like that.
I think I told the story too, riding down Magnolia Lane with Matt in the 15 Masters. It was Arnie's last time to hit a tee shot, and just seeing him just still trying at that age. He was just so weak. I mean, what a legend.
Charging.
I mean, what a great tournament. to
Were
win,
you
too.
there? Were you there for the first tee off?
Yeah,
You got
He
to see that?
he shrimp hooked one into the fans. Went and got a chicken biscuit.
Oh, that's awesome.
You take one on the chest though to try and get that ball.
Right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you go after the ball?
That's a special ball. If you're smart, you would have been lined up down the left side.
Was that the one where Gary Player's son was holding up like the golf
no.
balls in the
That was
picture?
later. That was a few
Remember
years
that?
later.
Trying to get free advertising.
What other? So you got Wake Forest has amazing alumni. Who else? Like Curtis Strange, Lenny Watkins.
Curtis Strange. God, I forgot about that.
Zalatoris, Webb, Bill, and
There's got to be a few more in that old era. There's
What
definitely a few more.
Zalatoris, man, you forget about that guy. It's crazy when someone gets injured how fast you forget about him.
Mm-hmm.
it was,
There's
wait,
what's the guy who used to play out at Pablo, old guy.
Wake?
Yeah,
Oh, Leonard.
Leonard Thompson.
Leonard Thompson.
God, I got
Saw him the other day at Publix.
Oh yeah, still out there.
He's plays at Sawgrass Country Club.
What a grinder,
Oh yeah, he's good if you're on his good side.
right?
Cheyenne
He's
Woods
sour
had
as hell.
she had a splash there.
Cheyenne.
Cheyenne was there.
Got herself a big leaguer now.
Yeah. Who's she? What?
Not anymore. I think he's got.
She married?
Didn't she marry Aaron Hicks from the Yankees?
Oh, I did not
So
know that.
she would have got some
Aaron
NIL
Hicks.
money.
She would have got a little bit.
Yeah.
God.
She would have killed it.
Wonder what is the market value for QB1 and small ACC school?
$500,000 probably.
Are you serious?
Holy smokes.
I would think.
Like, what do you think the dude from Duke's getting right now?
Oh, I mean, he's probably getting a couple 100,000.
Yeah, but it's so hard to get
I mean,
in
the
there
most-
already.
He's probably getting free meals.
Like Duke
I think-
can't.
I don't think there's anybody at Wake getting 6 figures right now, and that's just because of where the collective.
How
is.
strict are schools like a Wake Forest with are they pretty
Strict.
lenient
No.
on some positions?
No,
Really?
no. I failed. I mean, during our Orange Bowl run.
No, I'm saying getting in. Getting into
in.
school. If you are a world class quarterback but dumb as shit, can you get into Wake Forest?
No,
They're
No,
not.
no.
No matter how good you are, and you were a lifer Wake Forest fan.
Nope.
No.
So
There's a handful of schools I would say that are competitive but have that requirement, and that's I'd say like Stanford, Duke, Wake, Northwestern,
Notre Dame maybe.
maybe Notre Dame.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
might turn their head.
So not 920 on the SAT wouldn't get you in.
920.
I don't know.
Hey!
So I got.
I
Yeah, hold
got
on.
that same.
I'd been finished high school for almost 2 years. I'd forgotten a lot of shit.
Oh, is that what it
think
was?
you need 4 digits on that score.
Is that what it was?
I had a 3.0 in college.
It'd be nice to negotiate membership at Old Town.
That would be nice. That's where I would go. If I had NIL money or I had NIL opportunity, I'd be like, all right,
That is definitely
Old
on the
Town,
list.
give me maybe like Diamond Creek, Mountaintop, Grandfather somewhere,
Right.
a little national membership.
How good would that be?
Don't worry about the cash, just that.
Mhm.
Pay the dues.
Man, you're looking good. I know you just did. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
What are you
just did
doing
some
these
kind
days?
of or maybe it was Chet that did some kind of an Iron Man
Chet
run.
did.
But
Chet runs, right?
what are
runner.
you doing to
What I
stay
do?
so fit?
I don't know. We get after it. We got about 8 guys that all played ball in various forms.
What kind of ball?
Well, that's not
mainly
just
football and
basketball.
basketball. Football and basketball. We work out actually at bowls 3 times a week. We're on the field in the weight room doing stadiums, sleds, pretty aggressive.
You know,
stuff.
San Jose just shut down our gym. I might
They
need
did?
that. Yeah,
Ha-
it's going to be
Come
out
on
for
over,
3
baby.
months. I'd like to.
So,
Get-
Riley-
Hey,
get-
we've got the
get
10, hey,
freeze
we got
over
the
there.
10-pound dumbbells. You can do your golf swing workout. You do on the
Oh,
Bosu
wow.
ball.
I don't go.
Absolutely, just crushing
I've
him
seen
right
those.
Yeah, baby, my balance is fine right now. What's it like coaching those kids though? I mean, it's a different
What
generation.
are you,
of athlete.
quarterback
It's-
coach?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is super fun. I feel like it's the calling to give back based on gifts I had, and like I love it, especially because we've got a really talented quarterback and some really, really good receivers. I mean, like really good receivers. So
What's your record right now?
it's fun. See, when are you talking about record? No, we're 2-3.
Indictment.
Bad, I know. Quarterback play's been solid though.
Has it?
Quarterback play's been very solid.
D's letting us
yes.
down.
Offensive line, defense,
But
special teams.
it's a blast, man. We run a little more of an aggressive offense than when I was there, so we're throwing it around. And we threw for 270 last game, and so for me, it's fun because we just get to throw it around a bunch.
I got a question about quarterback sneaks. I always was under the impression that it was illegal to get pushed from behind. Like if you
It
know
was
the new
until
play they're
last
running.
year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They changed the rule.
They changed the rule.
Uh huh.
Why would they do that? It's a terrible rule change.
Yeah. I don't know why.
Like if you're on the 1 yard line and you have any doubts, why wouldn't you run that rugby play 4 times in a row until it works?
I don't know. I would do it every time.
So they're going to outlaw.
Because
it.
what they do, you'll see it. They motion like a tight end from a slot position, so they get the linebackers out. They'll motion a tight end, and he'll stop right behind the quarterback. They'll snap it, and the guy. So
Yeah.
the defender. So like that linebacker that was covering him isn't in the box yet. Like he's still trying to
Right.
cover him in motion. So it just gives you one more.
It's the Reggie Bush play.
It's
remember?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God,
It's
Reggie
Matt
Bush,
Lyon
man.
and
Poor
Reggie
guy.
Bush.
We talked about this maybe yesterday. He
Yeah.
just got the shaft on everything, dude. He
He's
did.
gonna get it back.
You think he gets the Heisman back?
I bet he does.
Has to.
Why did he give it back? He didn't have to.
Why do you take it away to begin with when he's already got
Oh,
it?
they
No
didn't-
one cares.
They
Right.
didn't take the World Series off the Astros,
Right.
but they took it off Reggie Bush.
Right.
Mm.
That is.
They're going to give it back.
the scale. Is
When
just
when
like,
What he did back
when
then is
players were
legal
getting-
now.
Astros were
when
cheap.
players were
Literally
getting
cheap.
$5 million bucks,
Yeah.
and he got I don't know what he got, a car.
Yeah.
Like yeah,
It's like watching the Manziel thing, seeing him make 30 grand for signing autographs. That's a drop in the bucket. What that
Drop
guy
in the bucket.
probably should have made.
that's what like a backup left tackle's getting at like a mid-tier
Georgia Southern.
Midwestern school.
Makes me
Yeah,
vomit. It's not
I know.
good for the youth.
That was a great documentary. That
Which one?
Johnny Manziel one.
Yeah, I don't think we got half the
no.
stuff.
Same with Swamp Kings. We didn't get
we didn't
half
get a
the
tenth.
stuff.
Of the, yeah,
That was great.
Right. Yeah, you know better than
Swamp
anybody.
Kings. God, there were some other guys there too that were obviously the whole football team, but like there was Ryan Lochte was there.
Yeah.
Like there was some
Matt Avery.
Me, I was there.
I mean,
What's Ryan Lochte doing now?
He's teaching kids how to swim, or like at a high level. But
I was about to
He
say.
seemed like
I
Yeah,
just saw him
if they
the
would
other
have
day.
put you on that documentary, the stories you would have probably spewed would
Swamp
have been.
Kings.
Wasn't there
It would
a
have been
I was,
must-see
I was pretty
TV.
tame in college.
wasn't there a hot tub or something?
With who?
Someone on your team had a hot tub.
I got no clue.
Yeah, you do.
No.
Not you, but maybe it was
Ryan
after.
Cochran used to have a hot tub.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we should shoot squirrels over at his house.
In the hot tub?
No, they did. I don't know what he's talking about, but it would hit the roof and fall off the roof. So good.
We talk golf trips every now and then because Pricey takes so many.
Yeah.
Where
I
you?
went on 7 this summer.
Where you?
I swear to God.
Where are you headed this fall? I know you got something up your sleeve.
That's a good question. Next week, I'm actually doing National in Shinnecock.
Jeez, we did that. I did that last year.
Pretty pumped. I
You
did
ever
that
done it?
like 4 years ago.
I think the more I hang around people that actually do that, I will get to do it one day.
It's still my number one golf trip I've ever taken.
Where are you
Yeah.
staying?
At National,
Like there?
above the club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I just
So-
played there in May. It was the first time. It was
It's-
good.
And then we're doing Congaree in 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's
But other than that,
Who you going up
that's
to
all I
Congaree
got.
with?
Fam?
total.
Klein.
Clint,
Total.
just wanted how. All right, we need a Klein.
Can we
Beam
get like a
story.
GoPro for that trip? It's Klein and his brother-in-law Colin and some other Charlotte guys.
Nice?
There's
be
another
good.
one, Chechesi Creek. It's by. Have you ever played that?
I've played there about a dozen
Oh, yeah,
times.
so you played that.
I feel like that's like Jacksonville's out of town club.
Mhm.
We
That's-
had I went up there with a buddy last summer, and he had never played. Neither one of us had played it before. We get on number 2 at National, and that windmill is over there on the left. And he dead pulls the driver, and it just fucking squares this thing, and then it stayed up on the ledge. And our caddy, I got pictures. Our caddy was like trying to fish the
Trying to
ball
get
down
it.
with a club.
It's such a good picture.
Oh, it's so good. And he said the only people, like, it gets hit all the time, but he said the only 2 people to keep a ball up there were Eli Manning and my buddy Rich Joseph.
Dr. Joseph.
You're up there with Rich?
Yeah, we went up there.
Did y'all stay at National?
No, we played Shinnecock National. We stayed at like you had to be a member at Shinnecock to stay at this place. It was pretty sick.
Did you,
Hampton-
did you
Hampton
play,
Inn.
Like
what's the other one next? The B. Starts with the B.
The Sabonic.
Sabonic.
And
Yeah.
Did you play
Southampton, all 4 of them
Didn't play.
I feel like
Sabonic.
everyone just turns their nose up at Sabonic.
Looks all
They-
well.
yeah,
The
they do.
clubhouses from Sabonic and National, you could throw a golf ball up.
Yeah,
It's
no,
on top
and
of the
sh-
hill.
Is it-
They're all
and-
4 right there.
Yeah.
Yes, Southampton's the furthest one east.
Shinnecock. Last time we went to Shinnecock, which was like 3 or 4 years ago. It was really awkward though, because it was kind of right in the middle of like all the Patrick Reed stuff, just things not going
Yeah.
its way, people having bad connotation towards him, whatever. And we're up there, and he's in the pro shop at Shinnecock by himself, like no one with him. And
That's not unusual.
then we said hello. He kind of just like gave a head nod, and then he just went to the putting green by himself for like
It's odd.
an hour. And we were like, "You're up in the middle
Hanging in the
of
Hamptons.
New York in
yeah.
the Hamptons with no." And we asked the pro, we are like, "Who'd he come up here?" Like, "Ah, he's just by himself."
He just showed
I
up.
didn't know
was like,
that
you
that
just
was
show up?
allowed. I don't
It was
care who you are.
It was really weird. It's like, what are you doing?
Depending
What
on
a
the time of year,
flex.
I actually called the guy and he's like, not in August is what we were up there in August, and he's like, come back in September.
Oh, to play.
Yeah, we might be able to help you out.
I think it's my favorite course.
Shinnecock?
Yeah, Shinnecock and
Haven't done
Riviera
it.
for me, but Shinnecock, like compared, National's a blast to play,
Yeah.
but it's 6 shots easier than Shinnecock.
I I did not think
needs a lot
Nashville was
of
very
wind.
hard.
It's not.
No,
It was not very
You
hard.
can shoot the grass off that place
Yeah.
if it's not blowing or anything.
Shinnecock
It needs
just
to be
sitting up on
firm.
the clubhouse porch and like essentially
How
seeing
pretty is
18
that?
holes below you is so cool.
Something about the Hamptons too.
Yeah.
Have you guys played anything else out in the Hamptons? Fry's Head,
No.
Maidstone.
I played. No, I haven't. Mm-mm.
You can
Have
get
you?
lost out there. I think Fry's Head, West Hampton, which is heading back to the city.
It's a college event at Maidstone.
South
though.
Fork. It's a sneaky little short course. It's really fun out there. South
We
Fork.
played Westchester Country Club.
Mm.
in
And it was
Westchester.
when I was with the Giants. It was like the one time I got to play golf up there. It was like a castle clubhouse. It was so cool.
Mm-hmm. They got
So
some
that
good
was it.
spots up there. Bayonne, right on the water. in
Bayonne's
Jersey.
great.
They sell
Bayonne's like you're playing golf in Ireland. It's awesome.
Do you still have any of that swag that the Giants kicked you down?
My kids do. They
Yeah.
think it's cool.
That's
it's
cool.
terrible.
I think it's
swag,
cool.
though. Reebok. It's the old
Reebok.
NFL. Well, Reebok had the NFL forever
Oh, yeah, they did.
until like the mid-teens, and Nike got them,
Really?
or early teens. I was there in
vintage
2010.
now, man.
Vintage. Yeah, vintage.
Yeah, keep
It's
that, dude.
terrible.
Who's your NFL team? You got to be the Jags.
Jags. Yeah.
Season ticket holder.
Season ticket holder.
Are you? Always?
No.
No.
Well, when my wife Megan, just diehard Clemson fan. So once we got Trev and ETN, I had to fork up 5
Yeah.
season tickets, and there's
God.
no looking back.
That's a big hit, right?
It was
there,
a huge
especially,
hit.
And they go up every year,
Yeah.
and then you lay an egg like we did the last 2 weeks.
And I was like, what about like just a few games a year? We got buddies. We can always get ticket. Nope.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, I commend her because she's diehard. Every game we're there.
Y'all got a routine.
Got a routine now. It's good. It's good. Boys
It's nice
are
to have
loving it.
that. Nice to have that tradition.
Well,
here.
they're about to
So,
have the reset.
I
The
saw
London
see
reset.
Scoops pretty much every Sunday when
Yeah.
we park. Yep.
Yeah, we got to hit a game.
J-Lot?
J-Lot.
J-Lot.
Yeah.
Mm.
He's real
I-
disappointed with the traffic flow, but you
Bad
can't,
traffic
I'm
flow at the
disappointed
Jags.
with the temperatures at the game.
That's it.
That's ridiculous.
So I got a question. Do you
Move
think
to
it's a
4:30.
you think it's a good or bad argument for the debate with the city on building a new stadium when there's half the team there or half the fans there because no one's showing up? Or do you think because it's so freaking hot
I
that
think
everyone's like,
it's-
if we don't have shade or we don't have some kind of better situation,
Yeah.
Couple-
If we don't
I'm not
have,
coming to this game.
and if we
couple
don't have a
things.
lead early,
couple
Right.
things.
we are the most fair weather fans.
Couple things.
Agreed.
They need to flex the Jags games to 4:30.
Yeah.
And in the early in the year, it's
Yeah.
ridiculous, dude. That's no
When
one should have
100
to sit through that.
When
We took
100 people pass out,
Tool
or
and I
get
took
taken out
our
of the
kids
stadium,
to the KC game, and it was
brutal,
awful.
awful.
You have to have the new stadium has to have shade.
Yep.
I think half the people don't go because of the heat, and the others, it's freaking expensive to go to Jags games,
And
dude.
it's awesome
I mean,
on TV. The TV is so good.
but like even the
They
Jags
used to black them out.
product, like
Right.
those KC,
Mm.
that KC game, it's a $1,500 day if you
Yeah.
take your family. I mean,
Yep.
I don't know. It's part of it.
Part of it.
Engineering and construction are not my strong suits. Could you put like shade on that current stadium? Like,
No, you
No.
gotta
Miami
You gotta,
tries it.
That's lipstick on a pig.
yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta redo this.
So whose box do you run to when it gets too hot? Somebody that's
Got
funny.
3 or 4
So,
to choose from.
Yeah,
There's
I wish.
somebody accidentally sent me a text on Sunday. Brian Shell, he was trying to send it to Riley Skinner instead
Oh.
of Scott Riley, and he's like, "Come on back," and I'm like, "Dude, I'm
I'm
in
on my
Atlanta."
couch. I'm in Atlanta. That was great. We went
I'll take a rain check though.
Brian Shell shows up. We moved from our seats. The boys went home at halftime. It was so dang hot.
Oh,
Me and my brother-in-law moved seats and went into the club. So we go sit down. We sat in section what we thought was 112. Well, now they have just 12. So we're sitting there. We're in Brian Shell's seats. Brian Shell just lost his phone apparently. So he was all hot. So he comes down, taps me on the shoulder. Didn't know it was me. He goes, "Hey, bud, you're in our seats. You need to leave."
Whoa.
And I'm like, "Shell." And he
What's
goes,
up?
"Oh God." Sorry. He felt so bad.
Oh.
He sent me like 4 messages after. He was hot though. Like he was ready to kick somebody out of something.
that's
It was good.
hilarious.
It was
Well,
good.
any Jags fan would have been hot watching that.
Is that last
Shit.
week?
Oh,
Yeah,
The Texans game?
Yeah.
Ooh.
that was a mess.
It was hot there then too?
I think
Heck yeah.
it was predicted the same temperature. I think that the week you went to the KC game. It's predicted to be 92. It was 89. So I don't know humidity and all that stuff, but
I think this
hot.
season is what we're seeing when this team is dealing with expectations, which are so hard to match. It's as an Auburn fan, we kick ass when we have no expectations. As a Jaguar fan, we do the same thing. Once we heap them on the team, you see that pressure start to mount. And it's a small market. But
I couldn't agree with you more, man. I've always been saying that this whole summer. It's like, I want to pump the brakes on how good we're expecting them to be.
Yeah.
Like, you got to forget. Like, people forget.
The games we won.
We were 4-8 to start the year last year, bud.
And the games we were winning, it ain't like we were dominating them.
No.
I mean, we were skin of our teeth.
And we were 4-8 to start. It's not like everyone just remembers the last 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I do think some of the expectation comes when you look at the division. People go, "Oh, there's 6 wins."
Yeah, it's the NFL though. It's the NFL. There are no freebies, dude. Arizona curb stomped Dallas. I watched that whole game. They just looked like the better team.
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell?
Yeah.
Arizona's only predicted to win 4 games too.
Well,
and they just
It made me feel a little
First
better
dose.
about the Jags
Same.
losing.
Same.
Seeing the
Yeah, you start
Cowboys.
rationalizing.
it's
But
the
I think
NFL.
getting
Yeah.
out of town will be good for them.
London's the reset.
Would you rather them come home 2-3 and that win be against
The Buffalo?
Buffalo?
The Buffalo.
So
Like
we'd be 1-3 going into that
Oh,
game.
without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
I'd take
but
a
the
shitty,
way
I'd
this-
take a shitty loss to Atlanta and then a sick win against Buffalo, and we got some momentum. But part of me thinks we're getting
gotta
2 shitty losses.
You think so?
Dude, I have a bad feeling we're going to lose to Atlanta.
Atlanta?
Yeah.
Oh,
Nah.
They've been
We'll
a
beat Atlanta.
mess.
Well, so have we.
We have been, I know.
I mean,
I don't see us beating the Bills, to be honest. I see us beating Atlanta and losing the Bills.
Mm-hmm. Well, the only advantage is that we're there for a week and acclimated, whatever that could mean.
We play pretty good in London.
and we have a good record.
We
in
got a good
London.
record in London.
yeah,
Scotty, you got
pre-Trevor.
you got any golf trips coming up?
We got the Fugger Cup
Yeah, you do.
coming up. Berkeley Hall has been the venue. We need to start looking at some other places. No invites.
We need to figure out a way to get you.
But I have been a great last minute substitute.
I was gonna
for,
say
can
we
be-
may need to talk to
can be
Klein.
flexible.
We may need to talk to Klein about the trip in a month or two.
Who's a
I'd
better
love-
golfer, you or Chet?
Riley by a mile. Sorry, Chet, but Chet's improving now that he's found a driver. So
Yes.
look out.
But it's sometimes a match, or not really.
Did you
No,
do that race?
Chet will
with
say
Chet?
the same. I mean,
Did you do that race with Chet? that he
Chet's
was doing
young.
in
We're
North
old.
Georgia.
No,
No.
the one we did a half Ironman 2 years ago,
Jesus.
and that was the last one
Yeah.
I'll ever do.
Yeah. What was the hardest part? Swimming?
Biking.
Really?
I'd never ridden a road bike until we got out there.
Really?
And we had 56 miles. And
Great
it was
prep.
Yeah, really good prep. I rode a mountain bike like 20 miles with the guys in here
Yeah.
in flat Jacksonville.
Right.
Then we went out to Texas, and that was brutal.
Where in Texas were you? Like,
Waco. Yeah.
David
It's
Koresh.
nice there this time of year.
Very nice.
Yeah.
We did that, and then
Isn't that
then
where
we
the
did
cult,
the,
the
then we did
cults
surf.
are
Then
in
we did
Waco?
the what?
Those like religious cults?
David Koresh.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's where. Yeah, right by there.
Wow.
And then, but that's also where the surf park is. That BSR
Yep.
surf park. So we
And-
parlayed that
And Baylor, right?
and Baylor.
Yeah.
what's that surf park like? I mean, that's
That one's pretty good. We got to go.
You went
I
to
got to go like
Slater's.
3 weeks ago to Kelly Slater's, and that was the trip of a lifetime. Coolest thing I've ever done, by far.
Where was
Really?
that one?
California, out near Fresno.
how long
It's
of
the
a
best.
ride?
It's a 57-second ride of the hands down best man-made wave in the world.
Mm.
It was the coolest thing I've ever done.
How long of a line is that to get in?
So you can't get in. It's
Invite only.
and you got to know. We somehow got involved with a client of ours that got us out there.
No way.
That I
Like
mean,
a-
it's,
like a
We used to
Augusta.
go.
you gotta try to get out like a year or two in advance. And it's like
It's like Band and Dunes in
it's
Augusta.
like $60,000 a day.
Dude, when I
Holy
was a
shit.
kid, my dad and his buddies would rent out the wave pool at they would do it
Typhoon?
at night. Yeah, Typhoon Lagoon. And I'd go over there with them, and my dad was getting a little heavier. I was in probably middle school because I would go over with him, and it's pretty cool. It's not near, obviously. This is
That's
20
like
years
peanuts.
ago. Yeah,
The
more than 20 years.
Typhoon's like
Fuck, dude.
peanuts
It's 20
compared to this. But it's cool though. That fact you can have on repeat the same wave.
Yeah.
And in this one, it's like, this is as good of a wave you're going to fly around the, like, I probably had 20, I think it was like 27 waves I got to have. And if you, those style of waves, that's like 5-7 years worth of surfing in a one-day experience.
Well, $60,000 it should be. Yeah.
I didn't pay it.
Right.
Do you get hot dogs and fries with that $60,000? They provide lunch.
You get a lot of good stuff for that.
They provide lunch with the fisting for $60,000. Wow.
Yeah, but look, it's an exclusive thing and people will pay.
Thanks for coming
Go to San Diego for about a month. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
Find some good waves there.
When I was here with the kids, we're
it's a joke. Growing up surfing here versus out there, it's like cheating.
Yeah.
I mean,
we went to
just
Huntington
like golf,
Beach
too.
and the sets were coming in. I've never seen them. You know, normally in Australia, they come in like sets of 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
These things never stopped.
End over end, yeah.
It was just like every 8 seconds of the same wave. It was like a wave pool. It was insane. It was obviously
Where was that at?
That Huntington Beach.
Oh.
Yeah, in Southern California.
Were you wearing your Speedo?
No, I was with my kids.
Mm.
I don't wear Speedos.
Fair enough.
Though, actually, someone texted me today. Cam Smith's got we were talking the other day. He's got the bachelor party coming, and there's one day you got to dress up.
You're getting one?
No, it's like someone sent me the Borat suit.
I was just going to say, you got to go Borat.
Oh,
I don't know if you could fill it out.
with that moose knuckle.
No, a couple pairs of socks.
Couple pairs of socks.
yeah.
Yeah, you don't need any help there, dude.
It's like a heater hose.
You'll be all right. That is not a third
Wait,
leg.
who's getting married?
Cam.
Cam Smith.
Cam. Dun 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 dun.
End of the year in Australia.
Wow. Another good one goes down.
He gone.
He gone. He been gone.
Breaking into jail. Why would someone want to dig into jail? Unbelievable.
Well, Riles, what a pleasure, man. Thanks so
thanks
much
for
for
coming in. Come in
for
whenever.
coming in.
This is awesome.
Isn't it cool here?
Yeah.
It is a great setup.
Need to make this a normal lunch spot.
Yeah.
Hey, we're here.
Yeah, they just started serving
Cheer
breakfast
Donuts right
door.
next to us, serving.
Shout out Shirley.
Shout out Shirley in the red truck.
I have yet to have the donuts. Solid.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
yeah.
they really
Yeah.
good.
They can always use a hand out.
Put you right on the step of diabetes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You get him packing a few orders out the back. Perfect.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right, thanks.
See you guys.
Boys, thanks.